Okay, so before you do any sort of elimination diet, let's start with some of the basics and cover what are you looking for and what are some clues that might point you in the right direction. And that will help you pick a starting template. I'll link another video in the doobly-doo below for that video about which templates might be best suited for the 3 categories. But I would say broadly, if you're looking to evaluate if foods are negatively affecting your body or if you are reactive to foods, you're looking for one of 3 things. You're looking for an allergy, a sensitivity, or an intolerance. The difference being that 2 of these are immune system mediated more directly, and the other one tends to be other stuff. So let me elaborate. Food allergies, everybody knows about food allergies in the sense of like the person who eats a peanut and they keel over and they die. You can have food allergies that are not that severe or that overt. I have had people with other conditions present with food allergies that are not immediately life-threatening, but broadly, food allergies are going to be created by the immune system. It's the immune system seeing a food, thinking it's the enemy, and reacting in an inflammatory, squirrely way. And they're usually going to be quicker. And for something like the peanut allergies, that could be a matter of just seconds. If it's something like a different kind of allergy, it can be minutes or hours before it kicks in. But typically these are going to hit you within the span of a couple of hours at the most. A food sensitivity is like the cousin of a food allergy because it's still the immune system that sees a food, thinks it's the enemy, freaks out, and churns up a bunch of inflammation. But it's going to be a longer process to bubble and brew. You're going to see these food sensitivities usually pop up within hours, sometimes as long as days, sometimes as short as minutes. But it's usually somewhere in the ballpark of minutes to hours for a food sensitivity. Now, food intolerance, which I will say people get intolerances and sensitivities mixed up quite a lot, where sensitivities are more similar to an allergy because it's the immune system going bonkers. And intolerance is just when you or some part of your body or your microbiome doesn't do a good enough job digesting and assimilating that food. So an example, for example, is the low Fodmap diet and Fodmap intolerance. It's not that your immune system sees the Fodmaps and thinks that they're the enemy. It's that your gut bacteria are either metabolizing the Fodmaps in a peculiar way, or most often you have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. The bacteria live in the wrong part of your digestive tube, and when they digest Fodmaps, they make a lot of gas and they create a lot of distension and bloating and pain, and they alter your bowel movements and they cause irritable bowel syndrome. So it's not so much that the Fodmaps are doing anything to your immune system directly, it's that your microbiome is having a hard time processing that in a normal way. Similarly, histamine intolerance is another one where it's not necessarily that your immune system is having an allergic reaction to it. Is that if you consume an overabundance of this stuff, histamine, in your diet, and you can't clear it, if you can't detox it, and if your microbiome can't metabolize it quickly enough, you get a buildup and that creates symptoms. So hopefully this gives you the framework to understand what more precisely you're looking for before you do an elimination diet. And I'll link the other video below so that you have some ideas of like, if you're looking for a sensitivity, you should try this diet or this diet, and so on and so forth.